Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I want to talk about Shiba Inu and the Shiba ecosystem, Shibarium. And there's some things that have happened that has caused the price of the Shiba Inu ecosystem to drop, especially Leash, dramatically. Now, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. Now, one thing is that people need to understand the Shibarium ecosystem, right? That includes Shiba Inu, Bone, Leash, She, and Treat. Now, I see a lot of videos, whether it's YouTubers or wealth transfer channels or whatever, profits, and they're like, Shiba Inu is getting ready to explode and all this stuff. And people need to understand that as we have been waiting for the longest time for Shibarium to be 100% complete, and it's not. You still don't have She. You have issues with Leash. Right? They just launched Treat in January. So Shiba Inu is dependent on these other tokens, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not a standalone cryptocurrency anymore like it was previously. Yes, Shibarium at one point became the goal, and it was supposed to launch in 2022, if you guys remember. Then there was delays, and some of those delays were due to what happened with the Luna stablecoin, so they couldn't really launch the She token, which we believe they did, according to what Ryoshi had said about how they would do things with the She token. We already know that it's scrolling across the top on Uniswap and all that stuff. We've discussed that. So the main reason why I'm doing this video is because the Leash token has absolutely crashed. The supply has went up from 107,000 to 4.86 million as of this video. So there was something that happened within the Leash contract, and it was supposed to have been a renounced contract, and somehow, some way, the supply was increasing, and it has to do with something that was hidden in the contract or something like that. People are saying that it was done by, a former developer. So what the Shiba Inu team was doing was, go ahead and let's migrate Leash, right? So this article from August the 22nd, Leash version 2 migration and development update, holder equivalents and targeted snapshots. Rebases on Leash are still being triggered, but our job is to protect holders and deliver a smooth variable migration to Leash version 2. Now, you guys know, most of you should know what the price of Leash was at one time, which was 8,983. That was back during Shiba Inu's first run, right? You can see here in May is at 4,000, right? And as time has gone on, just because of the markets, the price was dropping, right? And then all of a sudden, Leash was what they call rebasing or increasing the supply. In August, when all this was happening, the price just absolutely tanked, right? Because the supply kept increasing. So Leash has always been, as far as price-wise, unattainable for the majority of people since there was only 107,000 in circulation. But they were supposed to do this migration, right? After they announced this migration, still the price continued to tank. On September the 9th, the Leash version 2 migration, the final pre-launch update. Then something happened with the Shibarium Bridge, and somebody had posted about taking a look at what was going on and that they were investigating. And then one of the developers had posted, and so this is back September the 13th. Earlier today, a sophisticated, probably planned for months attack was carried out on using a flash loan to purchase 4.6 million Bone. The attacker gained access to validator signing keys and achieved majority validator power and signed a malicious state to drain assets from the bridge. Because Bone's delegated to Validator 1, it remained locked due to unstaking delays, giving us the chance to freeze those funds. Then another update, people asked, was Shibarium hacked? No, the protocol itself was not compromised. The issue came from stolen validator keys used to push a fake stake. Only a small amount of ETH SHIB was moved. The majority of assets, including 4.6 million Bone, remained locked and frozen. So on September the 21st, they put out another update just to explain exactly what happened and what they did to kind of stop everything from happening. So on September the 12th, an unauthorized validator signing power was used to push a malicious state exit through the POS bridge, withdrawing multiple assets. The method combined short-lived stake amplification and malicious checkpoint exit proofs to authorize withdrawals. Since then, on-chain activity linked to the attacker has sold portions of the certain tokens, notably ETH, SHIB, and ROAR. So it just goes on to what they've done and try to assure the community that everything is okay. So the reputation of the Shibarium and the Shiba Inu ecosystem is, there's some lost trust that happened there. So as far as the migration, I haven't seen anything specifically, but Crypto.com put out this update because you can buy Leash on Crypto.com. Please be informed that Doge Killer Leash will be restricted on Crypto.com app on September the 29th, 2025 at 1 o'clock UTC. As a result, the following services will be impacted. Leash deposits have been permanently disabled. Leash trading withdrawals will be permanently disabled on the effective date. Leash orders will be terminated. Leash trading via crypto basket will no longer be available after the date. Leash will no longer be available for card top up after effective date. Please review your Leash balances immediately and take any necessary action before the effective date. The remaining Leash balances in your Crypto.com app after this date will be automatically converted to USDC. All right, so maybe the migration is going to happen, and it's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this, because I want people to try to maybe possibly get an opportunity to get a hold of some Leash. Platforms like Gate, Crypto.com, Bit, LA Token, and a few others, are they going to have the new Leash, the version 2? Right, so I don't know what the price is going to be. They can launch, and you might be able to get some for $5, $10, $20, $50. I have no idea, but I just wanted to put this information out there because most people don't have the opportunity to get Leash because it's really expensive. So a lot of people just said, I'll just get all the other coins that's part of the Shibarium system, but they just forego getting Leash. So I'm not recommending you buying it now because the supply is absolutely crazy. I did buy some just to see what would happen in my wallet after the changeover, the migration, just to see what would happen. But I'm not recommending anybody else to do that. According to their earlier articles, they had some kind of formula that they were going to do, but we'll just wait to see what happens. And after the migration, we'll see if we can't get our hands on some Leash at a cheap price. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be trying to get some Leash, especially if you're like the whales and you can afford to buy up the whole supply. If they're only going to be putting out 107,000. If you had some already, you didn't sell, you get your 1-to-1, right? If you sold some, you have a reduced proportionality to what you kept. If you sold out, you get 0 unless you rebuy, right? We don't know what the price is when it first launches, what the price is going to be. Post-rebase buyers included scale by the same ratio, so there's some type of scaling that they've done if you bought after the supply kept going up. Stakers and lockers, unstake, unlock, migrate into phase 1. V3 LPs wait for phase 2 guide. Targeted snapshots will be used to ensure fair accounting. Central exchange users, if your venue participates, no action needed. If not, withdraw and use the portal. So a lot of this other stuff I don't understand, but I tried to share the stuff that is a little bit understandable. But I just want people that maybe have the opportunity to try to buy some after the migration. So it looks like something is going to happen around the 29th of September, and we'll just go from there. Now, one of the other things that I do want to talk about, and, we've heard for the longest time that, Shiba Inu is going to take off. It's going to reach $1. We've heard this for a long time, and there's a lot of things that are different now than what it used to be. And people need to understand when it comes to Shiba Inu, a lot of people want to try to recreate that massive run that they had back when you could put in 10 or 20 bucks and you got millions of dollars. And what had happened was it was sitting around, 9 zeros, and it just took off. And it took off till about October, and that was its all-time high. And so it ran for, 8.5 months. Then it began to somewhat decline, and then just basically been trading like sideways for a long time. Actually, even added another zero. And of course, there were different periods where, people thought it was going to pump, so the price increased a little bit. But for the most part, it's been stagnated. And there's a major difference between then and now. And hopefully that the Shiba Inu team recognizes this, that at one point in time, Shiba Inu was making this run. There were a bunch of news articles suggesting that Elon Musk and Vitalik Buterin were behind the creation of Shiba Inu, right? And right before Shiba Inu stopped its run, Elon Musk came out and said he didn't own any Shiba Inu. He didn't verify whether or not if he was behind it or not, right? So there was a lot of speculation that Elon Musk and Vitalik Buterin were behind Shiba Inu. So that was part of the reason Shiba Inu was making its run. Also, Ryoshi was more involved in the Shiba Inu project. He hasn't been seen for a long time. Remember, he laid out his plan, which included Shi, right, which we believe that's Shina Inu. And so we were also anticipating the Shi release. Now, this is the thing, that because of what happened with the Luna stablecoin crisis, they had to go back to the drawing board on it. But Ryoshi did say in his blog that they could launch it before and then bridge it over later. Well, when Shina Inu was launched, a lot of people from the Shiba Inu team was saying, "Oh, this is a fake coin and all this and all that." But yet now it's been scrolling across Shiba Swap forever. We've done many videos on this, as you can see, that it was scrolling across Shiba Swap. One of the persons as part of the development team at Shiba Inu, I mentioned, what's going on, with Shi, that this the Shi token, and we believed that it was the Shi token, and they were blocking people. They blocked me. If you mentioned Shi in the Shiba Inu group, you were kicked out of the group, which I was too as well. So Satoshi and others have put out these hints relating to the Shina Inu token being part of the ecosystem. And so since they don't have all those things that they had before with the project with Elon Musk and Vitalik Buterin, which I've shared that I believe that they were behind this, the Shiba Inu token, and obviously behind some of the other tokens and that led to Shibarium and these other tokens. But we don't have that right now. And I believe that it's going to take that to get Shiba Inu back on track. And the return of Ryoshi, or saying something or doing something, right? And also I believe that they need Shi. I mean, right now, the Shiba Inu community really needs some inspiration. And to say that, Shi token is not part of the ecosystem when clearly, it is, they wouldn't be having it scrolling on Shiba Swap. But right now, especially with what happened with Leash and this whole exploit, they really need some things to inspire the community again. So first of all, we have to get through this Leash migration. Then they have to figure out Shi, right? And then they need to inspire the community before we see the price action that we are looking for. So folks, that's all that I have for this today. I just wanted to share this information so you know what's going on with the Shiba Inu and the ecosystem, Shibarium. So look out for the migration version 2 Leash. Maybe you'll be able to get your hands on some of that, which it looks like it may happen around the 29th, according to that crypto.com email that came out. And maybe it'll be around then. Maybe it won't happen until after that. But all that remains to be seen, as I haven't seen any definite time information. And they're probably doing that, so that there's no more exploits that or attempted hacks and so on. So anyways, I thank you guys for listening. God bless.